Stunk it up last week, man. Ain't no way around it. 0-5 last week. Back with my best bets in the NFL for the early slate on week 2, September 15th, Sunday. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games. All right, first up, we have New Orleans taking on Dallas. Dallas is favorite -6.5. You can get that at -110 over on FanDuel. My thoughts in that game would be Brandon Cooks to go over his 46.5 receiving yards. I don't have the stats in front of me, but he's hit it at a high rate. I also like Zeke Elliott. I like his rushing attempts and his yards, his rushing yards to go over. Nothing official in that one. Next, we have Tampa Bay taking on Detroit. Detroit is -7.5 on the spread. You can get it at -110 over at FanDuel. No real thoughts on this one. I believe that Jahmyr Gibbs scores a tutty. I believe that Dave Montgomery gets in the end zone. I think, I got the Bucks jersey on, man. One for a reason it looked good. You know what I'm saying? And it's the GOAT, Tom Terrific on there. But I think that Baker Mayfield will have a good game. I couldn't talk you over his passing yards over or his over 1.5 passing touchdowns. I think Mike Evans gets in the end zone, which will be beneficial to my fantasy team. Nothing official on that one. Next, we have the Cleveland Browns taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville -3 on the spread, -118 at FanDuel. I like that. Give me Jacksonville. Give me Jacksonville on the spread, -3, -118. I don't know what this current form of Deshaun Watson is, but I'm going to be fading it. So give me Jacksonville Jaguars, -3 on the spread, -118. Next, we have the Niners taking on the Vikings. Niners favorite, -4.5 on the spread. You can get that at -110. In this game, I'm going to be taking Jordan Mason over his 17.5 rushing attempts. Also like his yards to go over. He had 150 something yards last week. His yards are at 76. Like his yards to go over. Christian McCaffrey on the injury reserve list. I look for Jordan Mason to do his thing. I also think that the Niners will beat the Vikings, so I feel like he'll get a lot of late game handoffs and touches. So give me Jordan Mason over 17.5 rushing attempts, -108 over on FanDuel. He had 20 something rushing attempts last game. I caught it live. All right. Next, we're going to do the Los Angeles Chargers going on the road, taking on the Carolina Panthers. Chargers are -4.5 on the spread. No official thoughts on this one. I'm hearing J.K. Dobbins at anytime touchdown. I couldn't talk you off of that. All right. Next game, we got the Las Vegas Raiders traveling to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. Ravens are favorite -8.5, -110 on the spread. So I got a couple picks for you with this Ravens game. So first, I'm going to take the Ravens money line and the Chargers money line. Parlay those together. That's a -123. I like the Cowboys in that one, Bryson. What's up, man? Top of the morning to you. If you take the Chargers and the Ravens, you parlay them together, both of their money lines, that is a -123 over on FanDuel. So I took that today. I just feel like, they should get a win easily, and I don't have to touch the points. All right? Also, in this Baltimore game, y'all see what Lamar did last week? I don't see why you shouldn't. Did y'all see what Lamar did last week? Oh, man. Give me Lamar Jackson over 48 rushing yards, -110 over at FanDuel. He's had 100 yards or more in his last 2 out of 3 games. Appreciate it, Bryson. Welcome. Let's get you some cheese, man. Your first day here, let's get you some cheese, man. Lamar Jackson over 48 rushing yards, -110 odds over at FanDuel. All right. Our next game, we see Seattle going on the road, taking on the New England Patriots. Seattle -3.5 on the spread. You can get to that -102 over at FanDuel. Kenneth Walker is out today. I don't have any real thoughts on this game. I would lean towards Ramondre Stevenson props on the ground and Tyler Lockett, maybe DK in the air. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't talk you off of maybe Geno rushing yards either. Next, we see the Colts, Indianapolis, going on the road to take on the Green Bay Packers. Let's pause it right here because I got a couple thoughts on this one. You can get Indianapolis minus 134 on the money line at FanDuel. I took that. Jordan Love is out, so they'll be starting Malik Willis. I don't know if you're too familiar with Malik Willis, but I don't feel like Malik Willis is a under center. So I feel like the Indianapolis Colts are gonna just moonwalk to victory here, and I can't believe that this line is so low, and it kind of moved lower. I feel like it was minus 144 last night. So give me the Colts minus 134 on the money line. But in this one, right, like I said, I don't think that Malik Willis is a competent thrower under center, but in his last 2 out of 3 starts, he has had 40 yards or more rushing, and his rushing yards are set to 28 and a half. So I'll be taking Malik Willis to go over his 29 rush yards at minus 110 over at FanDuel, and I will also be taking the Indianapolis Colts minus 134 on the money line. I do lean Jordan Taylor's rushing attempts over, and I think that Jordan Taylor gets in the end zone. I also think that Anthony Richardson gets in the end zone as well. Niners gang, bang, bang. Next, we see the New York Jets traveling to Nashville to take on the Titans. Jets are favorites, minus 4.5 on the spread. You can get that at minus 105 over on FanDuel. No real thoughts in this game. Couldn't talk you off of Brees or Garrett Wilson props, but no real thoughts in this game. I do think the Jets pulled a win out. And if a gun was to my head and I had to pick a prop in this game, I would take Tony Pollard's receiving yards over, or I would take the tight end. I don't know his name by heart, and I don't have it right in front of me, but he's an African guy. I would take either his receiving yards over, or Tony Pollard's receiving yards over if a gun was to my head and I had to pick a game. Last but not least, on the early slate, the 1 o'clock slate, we see the New York Giants traveling to DC to take on the Washington Commanders. Commanders are favored minus 122 on the money line. In this game, I think Daniel Jones throws a pick. I couldn't talk you off of Alec Pierce's or Wan'Dale Robinson's receiving yards over. I like Terry McLaurin's receiving yards under. And I like Jaden Daniels to get in the end zone, and I like Jaden Daniels to go over his rushing yards. I think it's set at 51. However, officially, to wrap up the 1 o'clock slate, I will be taking Malik Willis over his 29 rushing yards. Then I'm parlayed the Los Angeles Chargers and the Baltimore money line, and that's minus 123 over at FanDuel. I took Jordan Mason from the 49ers. Niner gang, bang, bang. Should I start Allen Lazard in fantasy? What other options do you have besides Lazard? I took Jordan Mason over his 17.5 rushing attempts. I took the Indianapolis Colts on the money line, minus 134 over at FanDuel. And last but not least, I took JSN. From the Seahawks. Who's gonna see more targets? Lazard or let's see. They're playing the Titans. And the Seahawks are playing New England. I will go with Jackson Smith. I think I will go with Jackson Smith personally. But if you got Lazard starting, I couldn't talk you off. I think he might be the second option behind Garrett Wilson. And I think Jackson Smith is the third option behind DK and Tyler Lockett. So Lazard. Start Lazard. Yeah, you should start Lazard in fantasy. All right. And that's what I got. That's what I got for the 1 o'clock games. I will be back breaking down. Not a problem, my guy. I hope you get a W today. I will be back breaking down the WNBA slate for today. We got 6 games on today, and I will be breaking down the later games in the NFL a little later on today. Like, comment, and subscribe for your daily sports betting videos and analysis. Let's keep burning them. As always, I will see you tomorrow. Parlays and Builders will be over on Twitter, so don't meet me there. Beat me there. On Twitter, it's just the same as YouTube. @ the letter F, the number 4, the word 50, and the number 1 at F451 over on Twitter. Parlays and Builders will be over on there. Love, peace, and fish grease, man. Let's continue to run up some units. I'll see y'all in a minute.